Hello, everybody. This is Corbin from Zoco Marketing. In today's video, we are talking about YouTube advertising options. YouTube has many different options to target people inside of their platform. And over the years, it has just gotten better and better. And that's maybe why you've heard of a lot of people switching or allocating ad spend to YouTube ads specifically. I myself have seen a lot of personal success with YouTube ads and in consulting with other businesses. And the reason for that success is the targeting options that they have. If you want to have successful YouTube ads, the heart of that is the targeting. So in today's video, I'm going to be walking through specifically all of the different targeting options that are available inside of YouTube and how to use those targeting options. So this is going to be a really valuable video, and I'm excited to make this for you. So don't forget to like the video down below and subscribe if you haven't already, but let's jump right in. So I am inside of Google Ads, and I'm going to be creating an account, or we're going to be going into the YouTube, creating a YouTube ad campaign, and I'm going to go right to the targeting. So you're going to click here, video, and we're just going to keep this custom video and continue. If you want to learn how to set up your first YouTube ad campaign, I actually do have a video that I'll link up down below or up top here. That if you wanted to walk through this whole campaign setup, you could. But for today's video, I want to go right to the meat and potatoes, and that is the targeting. So I'm going to scroll down past these options. If you want to learn about all these other settings and options, watch that video about YouTube ads tutorial, setting up your first campaign, I think is what it's called. And I'll link it down below. But we're going to go straight here to the targeting. So as you can see right here, here are the 5 different options that you have for targeting. And inside of these 5 different options, there are actually more options. So there's a lot to unpack here, and we're going to go through it step by step here. So don't worry about that. But the first one is demographics. Then we have audiences. And then to round things out, we have keywords, topics, and placements. So I'm going to start at the very top with demographics. This is probably the easiest one to understand because almost every targeting marketing campaign, you have different, you have demographics. And so it's pretty straightforward, right? You can target by gender, male, female, unknown. This just means that the Google cannot associate the cookie with the user's demographics. So most of the time I do check these I do keep unknown as targeting because you might miss out on a lot of your target market if you uncheck those. So and then obviously you have your age, your parental status, and then your household income. So if you have a more high-end product, you know that only certain people can afford, you can target the top 10. And that's kind of a breakdown of the demographics. Very simple and straightforward there. But the next one is in audiences. And this is where we're going to spend the most time because this one has the most kind of breakout sections, so to speak. So if we come in here to audiences, the first thing you'll see is you'll know that there's a search bar. So, and inside of this search bar, you can search for lots of different things inside of here. Like say you're selling backpacks, you could type in backpack and, back to school. That's kind of what we're looking for, backpacks. See if there's an audience. So custom intent, there's backpack audiences. So the first thing when you come in here is I do recommend just typing in your product and seeing what is available. Type in your product or service and see what it may be. So say I'm a plumber, so maybe I want to type in plumbing. And let's see kind of what options are inside of here. Wait for this to load. You can see there's a custom intent audience for plumbing supplies. So these are awesome if I'm a plumber who's looking to promote my business locally or wherever it may be. But I'm going to talk to you about, as you can see here, there are different, there's custom intent audiences, and there's all these different ones inside of here. These are all custom intent. Oh, there's an in-market right here. I'm going to go through and explain the difference of those. So once you hit into this search, what I want you to do is come over here to this browse function. And this is going to kind of organize these audiences in a more clear way for us to understand. Now, inside of the audience tab, you can see we have who they are, their detailed demographics. We have the affinity audiences. Oops, I don't want to click in those. That's going to just bring down more. So we have the affinity audiences. We have the in-market and life events. Then we have remarketing and similar audiences. Then we have your audience combinations and custom audiences. Now think of this like a funnel. As far as where people are at in the funnel, the up top here, these are more the awareness stages. So this detailed demographic and affinity audiences, those are more top of funnel audiences. And then in market and remarketing lists, those are mid funnel, lower funnel. And then to round things out at the bottom here, we have combined audiences and custom audiences. So that's a good way to kind of think about it and YouTube actually has it organized that way, is this is kind of top of funnel and then all the way here is down is bottom funnel. So detailed demographic, as you click in here, you'll notice that this is a little bit different than the demographics that we have up here. When we click into these detailed demographics, We have things like the parental status, which we had in the targeting up above, but we also have stuff like marital status. We have education, so we could hit people that are current college students, and people who are high school grads, bachelor's degrees, advanced degrees. Home ownership status, so you could do renters, homeowners, and then employment. This gets very good for like B2B companies. I've had a lot of success with B2B software companies, business to business software companies for this. So you could target by specific industry size. So you wanted to go SMB or mid-market or enterprise businesses, you could target those inside of here. And then finally, you can target by industry. So there's a lot of different industries inside there. So a lot of people think that the demographics inside of here are the same as up above, but there's the reasons why they call it detailed demographics, because there's more details inside of there. Okay, and next we have affinity audiences. And as you can see, these are people targeting people based on their interests or habits that they have on the internet, essentially. And what this does is it puts them into different user buckets. So if I click inside of here, you can see there's all these different buckets. You have banking, finance, food and drink, shopping. And I'm not going to go through all of these, but let's say, for instance, I'm in the sports and fitness industry. I could click and I could target this whole industry right here just by clicking this box, and it will target everybody in the sports and fitness affinity audience. Or I could click down and it gets even more granular. So I could target people who are health and fitness buffs. Let's say I have like a supplement or something that I wanted to test and show to people, or sports fans. If I have specific sports gear, you could go through and you could target specifically basketball fans or golf enthusiasts. And the list kind of goes on and on. And once again, and how Google collects this data is by basically tracking people as they go throughout the internet and seeing what sites they're visiting, things they're searching for Google, and putting them all into this bucket. So this is more of like a top of funnel action, because this means that somebody searched for that thing maybe a month ago, 2 months ago, and maybe it's not top of mind for them, and they're not actively searching for this product or service. So that's how you kind of use the affinity audiences. I'm not going to go through and click through all these just for the sake of time and not to bore you to death, but it gives you an exposure to what you can come in and do. And if your industry's in here, go and search for those different things. So I'm going to click back out here now. And now we're going to go into in-market audiences and life events. So where this is different from affinity audiences, where it's just interests and habits, these are people who are actively searching for a product or service or answer to a question, or have recently had a life event, right? So when we click inside of here, we're going to do in-market audiences first. You can see that there's the same kind of buckets, very similar kind of buckets, right? But not the exact kind. We have apparel and accessories. There's food as well. But when we click inside of here, let's go to event tickets, for instance. So we come in and you can see sports tickets. Now, these are people who are specifically interested in buying tickets for these events, as opposed to the last audience where those people are interested in basketball or interested in basketball related things, but not a specific event, and they're not searching for those different things. So let's say, for instance, that I wanted to come in here to software. If you're a B2B software company or something like that, you could target based on specific services that people are looking for. And this is being kind of slow right now, but you could target people looking for accounting software or antivirus security software. And the list goes on and on. If you're an e-commerce store, you could come in here and you could search for like apparels and accessories. And you could try and find the apparel or accessory that you sell. Maybe you sell shoes, and you could go through and target people based on those specific products or services that they may be looking for. So in-market audiences are probably one of my favorite audience types. It's maybe my second or third. I'm going to show you, I'll talk about my favorite audience type, the one that I have the most success with inside of YouTube. But in-market audiences is definitely up there. It's definitely a very powerful one, very useful. Make sure you go and research your topic and see which ones you can target inside of there. The next one that I do want to talk about is these life events. I'm going to briefly touch on this targeting option inside of here. So we're going to scroll down. So you can target people on life events like business creation, college graduation, home renovation. And once again, these have drop downs, so you can get even more granular. One that I've had a lot of success for, if you have a pet product, this audience is really good. You can literally target people when they're about to buy a pet. You recently added a cat to the household, recently added a dog to the household. Very powerful targeting option. So this life events targeting is really good when it fits your audience. So I really like this one, but there's very few occasions where I can really target based on life events. So if you do have a product or service that does fit in one of these, then it's a great audience to go for, even better than in-market. But in-market audiences are just more available, and there's more targeting options and a broader audiences inside of there. So there is the in-market and the life events. And The next one is remarketing audiences. I'm not going to go too much into this one because it's pretty self-explanatory. If you're watching this video, you probably have an idea of remarketing audiences or what they look like. Essentially, you have to go through and create these remarketing audiences. And once you've created them inside of Google, you can then remarket to people who have hit your website in 30 days or remarket to people who have added to cart but not purchased. And then you can also create similar audiences or what's called, or if you come from the Facebook world, it's basically lookalike audiences based off of those remarketing audiences that you're building. And I just said audiences. So I've said audiences so many times in this video. I feel like I'm just saying it, but you get the idea. Let me know in the comments if you want me to create a specific video on remarketing and how to build out these remarketing campaigns inside of YouTube. I don't want to get into it to this video. I just want to expose you to what the targeting options are. But if you want a video on that, let me know down in the comments and I can create that. Now, the last two audiences is a combination audience. So what this is if you come in here, you can add a combination of any of the audiences inside of here. So you could do this, we call this test audience, or we call it test. You could go through and you could say target people who are, of course, this is going to be nice and slow for me. Just going to load up. Okay, so just to make things easy, so we target people who are interested in autos and vehicles. And then you could also then say, okay, exclude people or exclude audiences for whatever reason. I don't want to hit people that are interested in baby products, right? So it just gives you more power under the targeting on what things may be. And you can then create and or audiences. And so you could say, I want it to hit people who are interested in auto and vehicles or sports events, but are not interested in baby products. So very powerful options to create your combinations. Your imagination is kind of the limitation here, but that gives you an idea on how to use those. And I'm going to hit cancel here. And now for the last audience type, which is actually my favorite audience type and the audience that I use the most inside of Google, and that is this custom audience. And why this is so powerful is when I come in here to create a new audience, you can see we just call this, let's pretend we're targeting people who are interested in buying a mattress. So we'll call this mattress. What I can do is I can start adding interest or purchase behavior, people who are targeting interest or purchase intentions, and I could create essentially my own affinity audience based on websites or things that people are looking at. Or my personal favorite is click on this option and hit people who search for any of these terms inside of Google. So what my thinking is here, or what the mindset you need to have, is if people are searching for a mattress, I'm essentially trying to run YouTube ads to those people who are searching in Google that they are interested in a mattress. So that could be things like, what is the best mattress? So this could be, what is the best mattress? Right? And I could put that in here. Oh, and it's already given me some ideas, right? So top rated memory foam mattress. So these are people who are top of funnel looking for things inside of Google. So I want to make sure my ad is shown to them. I have a high ticket product here. So I'm just going to start adding some of these like top rated latex mattress brands, top rated king size memory foam mattresses, highest rated natural luxury mattresses. So as people are searching for these things inside of Google, then as they go to YouTube, they will start seeing my ads. And as you can see, this could be a very powerful audience. It will give you a gender breakdown, age breakdown, parental status, and then your weekly impressions. These are the kind of audiences that I have the most success for, because it's essentially people who are very interested in a product or service or solving a problem. And now you are targeting those people as soon as they type these things inside of Google. So this is my favorite audience type. Other options that you can do in here, you can actually target people who hit specific websites. So say you want to target your competitors, people who hit your competitors' websites, you could go through and add www.mycompetitor.com. Same thing with apps or people who visit certain places. So if you are a travel agency or a hotel or something and you want to target specific people who have hit certain locations, you could target people based on certain places that they visited. So custom audiences is my favorite, like I said, and so many different options inside of here. So I recommend you to come in here and play around and test different things, run different audiences, and it can really be lucrative for your business. So I'm going to hit cancel here now. And that is custom audiences. So once again, audiences, so you have your demographics, you have audiences, and then you have keywords, topics, placements. most of the, probably 90% of the time when I run YouTube ads, it's built inside of these audiences right here. And of that 90%, probably 60% is is custom audiences. And then the rest is kind of built out between affinity, detailed demographics, in-market, and remarketing. So that kind of gives you a rundown of how I like, or how much I use those YouTube audiences. Then inside of here, you have keywords. This is kind of like those custom intent audiences. You can go through and add keywords, but I don't find it to perform as well. So if you're going to do targeting based on keywords, I recommend you to come into the custom audiences and just target people based on the keywords inside of there. And then another big, I tell a lie. Placements are another big one that I do target people on. But I'm going to come here to topics. So you can target people based on specific topics. This is very similar to affinity audiences. I don't use this very often. I would rather create my own topics instead of having YouTube create those. And the last one is placements. So placements are very powerful because this gives you an opportunity to run ads to competitors' YouTube channels or on specific videos. So you could literally come in here and type in a YouTube channel, whatever it may be. Let's say that, I am a mattress. We're still sticking with the mattress. I could type in mattress here, see what YouTube channels have to do with mattresses, and I could run ads on those specific ones. And if you have a specific YouTube channel in mind, you could type it in by name, and those YouTube channels will come up, and you can target those, run ads on that channel specifically. And even further down, you could target specific videos. So you could type in, best mattress, like this one right here, best mattress 2021. That would be a great place to run an ad if I was a mattress provider, because this guy's literally talking about the best mattresses. And if somebody's watching that video, that means they're likely to be in the stage of purchasing a new bed. So same thing with websites, apps. You can target people based on the websites that they visited, or video lineups. Those are specific categories, and app categories, and you can enter multiple placements right here. Whew. And that is all of the options for ad targeting inside of YouTube. I know that was very quick, and there's a lot to cover inside of there, but hopefully after watching this video, you get an idea of what is possible. And what it really comes down to is going inside the platforms, clicking, seeing the different options, searching what it may be for whatever niche you have. But if you found this video helpful, don't forget to like and subscribe down below. Like I said, if you want to see a full tutorial on how to set up a full YouTube campaign, don't forget to check out this video or wherever it may be on this screen. And we will see you in the next video.